Here's how to EQ your violin on Ableton Live. So first of all, let's take a quick look at this session I already have opened. So this is a song called Acoustic Cafe Last Carnival. It's a really cool violin sound. Let's listen to a little bit of it. Okay, so as you can hear, everything is already mixed. So what I'm gonna do here is I will listen to a single violin track, as in this one I had 3 violin tracks all playing at the same time. I'm gonna show you a little bit what I did here. I will remove all the plugins that I've put so far. So the only plugin that I have left here is my sphere microphone plugin. The reason why I will not remove this is because I'm using the sphere microphone to record my violin tracks, and I need this plugin in order just to get the proper microphone sound on my track. Anyhow, no need to worry about this for now unless you buy that microphone, which I highly recommend. It's an amazing microphone. What we will do is start by EQing our violin. So the process of EQing is to remove or boost certain frequency on our instrument or on our audio track, which is extremely important. Violin, especially when you start recording your violin for the first time, has a lot of extra sound that you might not want necessarily on your track when you play it back. And then the first time you will record your violin, you will wonder, why does it sound so weird? Why does it sound so nosy? Sometimes like this. There's a lot of high mid frequency that resonates from the violin. There's a lot of very high harmonics resonating from our violin. And there's also the bow. So as the friction between the bow hair and the string sound really loud on a recording. The reason why is because when you record your violin, you're very close to the microphone. So the microphone is getting all this sound of the bow rubbing against the strings that you don't necessarily want either. So I will show you how to remove some of those extra sound that you might not want and boost a little bit of some of the frequency that sometimes we're lacking on the recording. So here we go. First thing, let's find our EQ here. So we're going to go to, we can either use plugins. For today, I will just use the the built-in effects from Ableton Live. So we will go in Audio Effects, choose EQ and Filter, and then Channel EQ, EQ8. I will use the EQ8 right there. Okay, great. So now let's listen to our violin track with no EQ at all, just to see how it sounds. It sounds pretty good already, but there's still a lot of frequency we want to remove. So there's always going to be some noise floor, as they call it, when you record, especially if you record from home, from your bedroom, or from a place that is not necessarily soundproof recording studio. You're always going to have some of those noise that you want to get rid of. First thing you should do is always create a low cut. So right here, I create a low cut. Let's play our violin track and remove some of that lower end rumble that we don't need. All right, perfect. So I would say around 70 Hertz. There's really nothing under 70 Hertz that you want on the violin. So we can set our low cut at 70 Hertz. Now let's try to remove some of that bow rubbing sound. So in order to find the sound, you can boost the frequency really high, as I'm doing right here, as you can see. And then when you hear really, really clearly that this is the sound you're trying to get rid of, then you know which frequency you want to start cutting. So right here it's 352. We want to cut a little bit of that that sound. So the Q will adjust how much frequency around that frequency you're also cutting. So be careful, because if the Q is too wide, you're cutting way too much frequency. If it's too thin, sometimes you're not cutting enough. So you can adjust the Q depending on what you need. So let's adjust the Q as we listen to the track. Very nice. All right, now we're going to remove a little bit of that harshness that come from higher frequency. So I'd say most likely it's around 2K, 1K, between 1 and 2K. So let's listen to it and cut some of that. Yeah, it's right there around 1.92K. Let's remove some of that, adjust the Q. Very nice. All right. And then the last thing I would do is to add a little bit of body, to the sound of our violin, is to boost just a tiny little bit the lower mid. So around 200 hertz, I like to give it a little nudge, just a little bit. All right. Keep the Q down. And this will add a little bit of body to our violin sound. Nice. And then lastly, we will add our reverb, which add all the magic to our sound. Now let's listen with everything else. Very nice. So here's how you EQ a violin on Ableton Live.